Welcome, Ultimate DIYers. We are going to start a new episode, and we're going to be working with Aaron at the Toolbox, and we're going to start going through tools and doing tests, kind of pitting tools against each other. Aaron actually repairs a lot of the tools, works on the tools that he sells, and so he's got some insight on what customers come back and complain about, what happens when they break. So, Aaron, how is it you got started in this business with all of these tools?
I build ponds and fountains and other water features and needed a mini skid steer. So I started off buying a DeWalt kit. Originally, it was for my use, and I had a couple tools I'd never use. I wound up selling them on Marketplace. They went so quick, I went back and got some more from the discount place I was buying from, and it mushroomed into this.
And yeah, you've got a ton of tools in here now. So Aaron has very good pricing on tools. He's also, like I said, he does a lot of the repairs, so he can kind of steer you in the right direction. So if you're in the market for tools, I definitely come talk to Aaron. And matter of fact, we're going to start with the chainsaws, and he's going to give you a little bit of insight of what chainsaws work well and which ones don't, which ones are maybe aimed a little bit more at a home renovation versus a professional. So, and we're going to take a couple of battery powered chainsaws, and we're going to pit those against, I brought my STIHL saw, and he's got a gas powered saw as well. I think an Echo
CS590 Timberwolf.
So we're going to kind of pit those against each other, do a little bit of cutting on some logs and maybe some 2x4s, and kind of get an idea and see how they work and see if it's actually worth it to go get a battery powered chainsaw today. So Aaron, what are some of the things that you see on chainsaws? Which one right now is outselling the others? Do you have problems?
For homeowners, basically battery's the way to go. Just because the maintenance aspect of it changes things completely. There's no spark plugs, no carburetor cleaning, no tuning, no winterizing. Definitely the way to go. But for professionals, a lot of the battery powered ones have gotten pretty stout, especially the last 5 years or so. The battery ones we're going to be doing today are going to be a FlexVolt 60-volt DeWalt 18-inch versus a RYOBI High Performance Series 18-inch 40-volt brushless. A little difference. I think we should grade it on a curve just because the voltage is going to be different between the two, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. I mean, are prices pretty similar between the two, or is one more expensive than the other?
The DeWalt, of course, is going to be more expensive, but we do everything 25 to 60% off retail, so it'd be cheaper than you get it at Home Depot for sure.
The Milwaukee? Do they have one that's an 18?
They only make 16-inch, and they've actually, do I have one here? They're over in landscaping. They've actually come out with two hatchets, an M18 10-inch and a M12 6-inch, I believe, and they're pretty stout, but it's more for smaller limbs, overhead work. The only other 18-volt they have is the Fuel 16-inch, which is a mean saw. It's pretty good. I actually wouldn't mind testing it against them, maybe if we had time.
Right. Well, and we may do another episode with some of those, sure. I guess, too. And as far as the maintenance, I will tell you, one of the big problems that I see when it comes to a gas-powered chainsaw is people will use it, and then they go put it in their garage, and they just leave it there for a year, 2 years, and they don't ever start it, and the carburetor, it'll gunk up. It's almost like a tarnish type. I forget what the hell they call it.
Especially with modern gas, the ethanol in it turns into a gel almost on the inside of it. So
for you guys out there, one thing that can help you if you have a gas-powered chainsaw is let the chainsaw run until there's no more fuel in the tank. Now you can use a stabilizer and put a stabilizer in it, which are great. But if you don't want to get the stabilizer, even the stabilizer, if you let it set too long, I think you can have a problem. So if you're a homeowner and you're not really going to use it for a long time, just let the thing run until there's nothing left in the carburetor. It'll clean the carburetor out. Same thing when it comes to a generator. Do the same thing. That can actually keep your carburetor where it'll keep it in good shape, where next time when you go to fire it up, it's going to fire up. So if you want, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go outside and get some chainsaws going, and let's see how they work.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay guys, we're outside. We're going to cut down a couple cypress trees. Well, maybe not. We might get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you something. This is one of the big selling points to having a battery powered saw. You only have oil reserve here, or a reservoir up in the front, which oils the chain. Outside of that, this is extremely quick. So I'm going to show you, he's got to put gas in this one. Now, oil will be the same, but I'll show you the difference. Let him fill that up, get it ready, and then I'm going to show you how quick I can be able to ready.
Standard 2-cycle gas mix, 2-cycle engines. Echo does make their own premix. They prefer you use on these guys. It's a little pricey.
Yep. Ready? All right. So now he's ready, but he still has to go through prime to start that. Mine, put in the battery, and I am up and ready to go. That
Okay, and I'm throttle out, power on. Okay. Train start already.
I'm going to let him, we're going to start. I just gave some regular dimensional lumber. So we are going to use the dimensional lumber just to kind of give you an idea, because a lot of guys with these chainsaws, especially battery powered, are using dimensional lumber. So we're going to do some of that, then we're going to cut on some logs too. So I'm going to let him go ahead and start, make a few cuts with that, and then we'll compare how quickly he cuts through it with the battery power. Let you go first. Like butter. So let's go and see what this one does. So this one still cuts through, but it's much slower. You can definitely tell the difference. Still makes a good cut. So where I think that's going to run into problems is when we start kind of competing on the logs. You ready? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go head to head against the Echo versus the STIHL, and we're just going to see how quickly it'll cut through. He's going to make an immediate cut, set it down, turn it off. I'm going to start the STIHL, and I'm going to do that. Then we'll try battery. Alright, so now it's starting to steel. Might be a little warm, so I can probably start on the center. Not bad.
I think that's a little more speedy than the Echo on the actual.
And this is the Boss. It's not necessarily a commercial grade, but it's kind of in the middle. So it's definitely got some power. Let's try it on the battery. I'll tell you what I'll do, DeWalt. I'm going to do the RYOBI. I don't know, that was pretty quick. Guys, I kind of feel like the DeWalt might have had that one a little.
Yeah, I think it might just be the difference between the medium we're using.
Yep, maybe the different type of wood, you know, the chain.
Yep.
So let's undo this, and what we're going to do now is we're going to test. You're going to do one, I'm going to do the other. We'll try. I tell you what. Let's cut the top of this one off with the battery.
Okay.
And then we'll go head to head on the chain. gas. Okay, so in other words, we're going to take this one. It's kind of, they're two different
Bring it down to
sizes.
about the same.
Yeah, it's two different sizes. Since we think what the DeWalt is a little stronger,
Yep.
let me let you.
Bigger side.
Yeah.
And you want to go lateral with it?
Now we're going to go ahead and cut this one. The bigger side, we're going to go ahead and try the DeWalt since it seemed to outpower the RYOBI just a little. And then we're going to hit this one with the RYOBI. We'll just see how easily it goes from this direction. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut a wedge like normal just to see how it does. Oh, there went your chain. Well, there's problem number one. Now let's go ahead and let's use your RYOBI real fast. Yep. Go ahead. The wedge is cut out.
Right. And what happens when the chain flies off like that? Doesn't always pinch the bar, but usually when you're hitting two surfaces at once, it causes a little
That's
bit of
why
pressure.
I was trying to cut a wedge to not hit the surface.
All right, we ready?
Yep, let's do it. All right, let's cut the other one real fast with the RYOBI. I like that little RYOBI. I'm sorry, but it's a nice little song. All right, I like the DeWalt too. I just pinch that chain a little. All right, so now we are going to turn these this way. But let's take a look here at the difference of the cut. There's a lot more cutting in it. Both very fast.
That one, like I said, it's got a little more girth. Again, it's almost too close to bone.
Well, what do you think about how they've all performed? So if you're buying a saw to take home, what would you buy? I agree.
I mean, trunk of the tree that's come down, if it's anything over, say, 10, 12-inch diameter, the gas for sure. Smaller than that, you usually make do, especially if it's just here too.
Right. I think like you just made a very valid point. I think it depends on how much you're using. So if I'm a homeowner and I'm going to trim some limbs at the house and trim some things back, I think the battery powered ones are fantastic. If I'm having to do a major tree cut down, or in my case, like I just came back from Colorado and I'm cutting logs in half, I don't think the battery powered is going to do it. I just think it's a lot of work. I mean, the gas powered struggle.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, you'll see I had several saws.
What's going on here?
Hey, we're the toolbox inside. We're just filming a little chainsaw test real quick. We're about to pull it.
All right, guys. So as you saw there, I think there's a purpose or a place for a battery powered saw. I just don't think it's on pro level yet. I think it's a little bit slow, but I think they work really great for what they're designed. If you're working at home, and Aaron will probably agree with me, if you're at home and you're cutting some limbs down at your house, I think these are great. If you're working as a pro and you're out there cutting, 8 hours a day, I don't think that's going to be the saw for you. If you're doing light stuff like with dimensional lumber, that's why we cut some of the dimensional lumber to give you an idea, because a lot of people will do, timber framing. Well, I think it works great for timber framing. I mean, what is your take, Aaron? How did you feel the saws fared against each other?
It's definitely night and day difference between the battery and the gas. Same time, I had a tree with a 13-inch diameter trunk come down on my garden last year. I took the RYOBI 18-inch HT and knocked it down to 1-foot sections in maybe the better part of an hour. I had the entire thing, and it was maybe 30 foot tall. It's pretty good.
And again, I think that would go back to how often are you having to do that. So if you're cutting down a tree this size or 2 or 3 times this size of Real Pro, might not be the saw, but I think as a homeowner, I think I agree with you. I think it would be a great thing to have, and you don't have to worry about running the fuel out so that it doesn't mess up a carburetor or put a treatment inside. So there's a lot of pluses for sure. Plus the batteries, if you're using DeWalt, all DeWalt tools, that battery will work on all of your DeWalt tools. So now you've just added to your arsenal. So there are definitely some big pros there. As far as the gas, I'll be honest with you, I think both of those saws, the Echo and the STIHL, were pretty reasonable. I do know that STIHL is used a little bit more in pros on a daily basis. Now, the one that we were using was the Boss, and it's kind of a mid-grade. It's not necessarily a pro saw. But what we're going to do real quick is Aaron's going to show you how quickly you can go ahead and change or put that chain back on, because obviously it popped off during the test. So we're going to see just how quick. Now, one of the things I would suggest is pull the battery.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And so now we're safe. Batteries out.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to go ahead and show you how fast he can put that chain back on.
And luckily, it was probably just an issue of not enough tension. It doesn't seem like the chain overheated. So this does happen. Pretty easy to put back on. You want to make sure your teeth usually on the bar. There will be a guide to tell you what way to go. If there isn't, the curve's going to go towards the front of the bar at the top.
Well, and you actually have an edge of those blades that's the cutting part, and it's generally going to go into the bottom of the saw. If not, you'll know real quick when you try to run the saw, it's not going to cut anything. So.
Just smell burning wood.
Yep. I would give you a hand, but I want people to see
Oh,
how.
no.
So this is your tensioner that he's using right now. He's tensioning it up a little before he actually puts the clutch plate back on. That's what we traditionally call a clutch plate. It's a little different than this.
Clutch cover.
I'd have to really play with it and see how the brake works on this one.
Yeah, and a lot of gas saws, the chain brake needs to be pulled back to put the clutch cover on.
It's true.
It's really a big deal. Battery power, it's not always. It's pretty fast. We're pulling it out.
Really, because look to me like you just brought it out again.
No, this was the one that was sitting right there. The chain fell off. I was putting it on. We're going back in, but
Okay, go.
yeah, have a great day.